Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Buddham dhammang sanghang namasami. Welcome to this Sunday night meditation time with Dhammadharini Sangha and with our friends from California and around the world. For the past months, we've been reflecting, contemplating about dependent origination, recalling that was the Buddha's contemplation after his awakening. The Buddha said, "For many a life I wandered in samsara, seeking but not finding the builder of this house. Sorrowful it is to be born again and again. O house builder, thou art seen. Thou shalt build no house again. All thy rafters are broken. Thy ridgepole is shattered. The mind has attained the unconditioned. Achieved is the end of craving." That was his exclamation immediately upon awakening his full enlightenment and becoming a Sama Sambuddha. So he was able to project his mind back through countless cycles of rebirth, both for himself individually and for beings in the world, and able to see clearly the cause of rebirth, old age, sickness, and death, the cause of human suffering. And he was able to know clearly that for him the taints or the asavas, the defilements, had been completely destroyed. The craving had been completely destroyed, and that this was his last birth, that he had no more to do with this round of samsara. It's also sometimes said that dependent arising can be happening within a single moment, that one can experience in an instantaneous way the arising, the existence, and the disappearance of a phenomenon moment by moment. I know that when I first encountered Buddhism, I didn't have as much clarity as I do now about rebirth and the cycles of rebirth. And for some time, I was seeing how the arising and disappearance of a phenomenon is happening moment to moment. And it seemed like the end of one lifespan and the start of another lifespan is just like the difference between two moments. It's not anything different. This morning, I'd like to welcome in our meditation to remember that sati, or mindfulness, which we know how to develop and practice, is related to the verb sarati, which means to remember. Sometimes they say that one would remember to be mindful. One would be alert, awake, present, inclining the mind towards the right kind of objects, towards looking within, towards looking at the rising and cessation of phenomena. And yes, that's very true. There's another something, this is my idea. one of my dear friends in the Dhamma, Ayya Suchita, you may remember her. She was the Korean bhikkhuni who was at the Dhamma Dharini for a couple of years. And her training for daily life had been a very strong training to look back. So each time a person changes their posture or changes from one activity to a different activity, the training is to look back and see, did you leave your seat neat and tidy and clean? Did you leave the desk or your workplace neat and tidy and clean? Did you take care of finishing whatever it is you were about? And having completed the activity that you were on, have you very clearly put it down? Even if you couldn't complete the entire project, you completed some task, maybe that was part of something larger, so that whatever task you were on, when you're finished, let that task be complete and be able to put it down very nicely, and then be available to be present for the next thing that comes. It occurs to me that this habit of looking back is the habit of developing memory. And so then developing the divine eye that the Buddha had, the ability to directly see into one's past lives. I've heard it said that if you practice remembering, that will help you to learn how to eventually be able to see past lives. In meditation, one thing that happens very often is that a person will sit down undertaking one object or one theme of meditation. Suppose it will be meditating on the breath or any other theme of meditation. And you will clearly look back at where the mind was in daily life and put that away. So you set down all of the excitement or agitation about whatever was going on before and make a decision to stay in the present moment. And then you would make a decision to direct the mind towards the breath, wherever the breath can be felt, like at the nostrils or at the belly. And having made that decision with the mind, it's possible to notice the sensation of breath. So this is your causation right there. The mind, if you look back for one instant of a second or one moment or a very short amount of time, you can see the mind had an idea, and then there's an experience. And then if the intention is very good, you may see that over a period of like a minute go by, and each breath is very clearly noticeable. And you can see that the intention is the cause that supports the experience of noticing the breath, because awareness is aimed in that direction. So because of that aiming, because of that resting, it stays there. And then sometimes the mind doesn't stay on the breath, but something else becomes noticeable. It could be that there's a sound. And so for a moment, the breath is not noticeable because attention has moved to the sound. If you can look back, you can see the causation right there. There was a contact of the sound with the hearing faculty. It could be that there was a feeling related to that sound. It's either it's pleasant or it's not pleasant. And it could be that there's some like a proliferation of thinking that happens because arising from that contact. So right there, you've got dependent arising is happening right there in the instance, less than 1 second. It took for that whole process to happen. It could be that if your mindfulness is not yet perfect, you don't really notice it in real time. But when you realize, oh, the mind has moved, it's not on the breath, it's on something else. As soon as you realize that, look back and say, oh, what happened? And notice like how that is, and then come back to breath. And as soon as you come back to breath, you can see a causation right there. You did it on purpose. You chose to move awareness back from the sound or from the thoughts back to breath. So then throughout the meditation, including if the mind is very settled and stable and staying on one meditation object, you can notice everything that can be experienced within that meditation. And it's not only the sensation of breath. You may notice the Vedana, which is connected with that. You could notice awareness itself. You could notice how the consciousness is connected to the object. You could notice uh, uh, the constant change that's happening within the breath. That our mind is like capable of watching that continuous change in the breath without losing its object. So if the meditation is a so-called a success in the sense of staying connected to the object, you can see causation. And if the meditation is difficult in the sense that the mind is distracted and possibly not making a good connection, or possibly drifting over into some other thoughts or something else, that's equally an opportunity to look and see what is the causation there. So what's happening when the mind is chasing after things, or possibly affected by different emotions? What's happening when the mind is just contented, equanimous, and able to stay on the object? This is the chance to investigate dependent origination, to investigate causation, not only looking back over countless eons of lifetimes to the final moment of liberation, but also looking within a moment, or within from one moment to another moment, and see how that works. So that's my discursive instruction. Now we can come to sit for meditation. Mm. Coming to an upright and balanced posture. Aware of the material physical body, connected to the seat and the floor, the weight of the body, and aware of the uprightness of the body, staying balanced, lifting up towards the sky. Keeping enough energy to stay upright, and then relaxing, letting the face relax, letting the shoulders relax, letting the belly relax, relaxing the hips and the legs. Just aware of sitting in the present moment. Letting go of the things outside. Letting go of any emotions about like and dislike. Just content with the way it is right now. And within that space, the rise and fall of breath. Noticing in one part of the body where the breath is most easy to see and follow, and letting awareness settle there. Just like the body is resting on the seat or cushion. Awareness is resting on the movement of breath. And just as the body is upright, awareness is bright and clear. With the light of awareness, the rise and fall of breath is more clear. Other thoughts or sensations can be left in the background, keeping the breath in front. And from the smaller place of the body, where breath is noticeable, awareness can expand to a larger part of the body where the breath is noticeable as well, like starting at the belly and then aware of the movement of the chest, of the movement of the shoulders, letting the breath expand gently, noticing the entire body breathing. Each breath is flooding the whole body. aware of the pleasant feeling connected with breath, free from greed, free from hatred, free from distraction. The mind is free, harmless, doing nothing bad to anyone, and finding joy in that simple, innocent freedom while watching the breath. And letting that joy pervade the entire body. Every cell of the body pervaded by happiness. And letting the thought of kindness go out to the whole world, wishing may all beings be happy, just like that, in every direction, with no limitation. Pervading the whole body and the whole world with the thought of kindness, metta. And gently emerging from this meditation. So this is the time for questions about meditation. Any your own comment, your experience, how this meditation was for you? And if you don't have a question or a comment, you may give your blessing, your thought of loving kindness. I'm going to call on Chintana.
Good morning. Thank you, Ayya. I was wondering if you could describe to me what bare attention is?
Yes, we hear about bare attention in the modern Vipassana teachings. Especially, we hear about it in the Zen tradition as it's taught in this country. So my understanding, linking it to the early Buddhist text, which is my main interest, I connect this with the instruction in the Satipatthana Sutta, where for each one of the objects of meditation in Satipatthana, it says one is aware internally, one is aware externally, one is aware both internally and externally, and one is merely aware of the existence of that phenomenon. And so then the last point of the refrain of Satipatthana, you're not directing awareness like inside the body, outside the body. It's much more relaxed and open, and one is simply aware of what's arising without adding anything at all to the experience, without even trying to control where the mind is, to force the mind to stay on one aspect, but in having the mind be so relaxed that it is open to whatever is arising, and then whatever comes up to awareness, you notice that, and keeping that mind in that very relaxed and calm style. There's another metaphor that I would associate to bare awareness, and that has to do with the hindrances or the negative things that can come up in the mind. In the sutta about the two kinds of thought, there's an analogy given to a cowherd, and it says that while the rice has been recently planted and it's just coming up in the paddy fields, the cowherd is leading his cow along the pathway, and he knows that there will be a lot of trouble if the cow gets into the rice. So he's constantly controlling the cow and using his stick and pushing it this way and pushing it that way so that the cow stays on the path. And so, in the same way, you may at some time of your meditation be exerting effort to hold the mind onto the path. And this is what you have to do when you still have the tendency for the hindrances to be arising and distracting you and taking you off of the meditation. But then later, when the hindrances have subsided and they're not present anymore, you don't need to be controlling in the same way anymore. And that's compared to after the rice has already been harvested and the paddy field is just a dry stubble. And at that point, the cowherd can just sit under a tree and let the cows do what they want. And he just notices, oh, those cows. So he's just doing bare awareness of the cow without controlling it. So that's my understanding of bare awareness from the perspective of the early text.
Beautiful. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Yeah. Other questions or comments about meditation? Comment live.
It's just a brief appreciation for how you connected the practice with the thread of what you've been teaching and how practical it was and how it really made things connect for me in the moment. So it's just appreciation.
Yes. This whole idea about whether dependent origination is a momentary, should be considered a momentary thing among the scholars, it's made into being a controversy. And some experts say, no, 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 it's not in the present moment. It's something that's happening over the cycle of rebirth. And then other teachers say, no, 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 it's a phenomenon. And this is something that does exist in the early commentarial tradition that says it's something momentary. But I think that from a very practical perspective, the idea of memory and how for understanding how the how our mind works, understanding where dukkha comes from, understanding where dukkha ceases. You can't do it if you don't have memory. And so practicing mindfulness in terms of being able to remember. Yes, indeed. Okay, I'm going to call on Madeline next and then Maggie.
Okay. Can you hear me right now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Are you speaking to me, Madeline, or?
Yes, you.
Okay. Thank you. I found that meditation really, really very deeply satisfying. I just wanted to ask you a question. I have this, and for years I've been organized. I'm a very organized person. That's my natural tendency. To list what meals will I cook, what will I get in the shops, what lists will I, and for even though I really do my very best to put all that down when I go into meditation, sometimes, the shopping list or what should I do and organize this and tell a person, what sort of hindrance is that?
It it may be associated. I would associate it with sensual desire.
All right.
And the reason is that I associate sensual desire not just with the pleasure of, having a warm shower or having a cup of tea or a flavor or a touch or something like that, but sensual desire is the whole realm of our materialistic happiness.
Yes.
So doing your job, saving up for your retirement, planning for your raising your family, organizing your will so that the children can survive after you, are all of these things that we do in the material world to secure our welfare over the long term is all in this kama realm. That's what the realm is, and so you've got to realize whatever's on your shopping list, when death comes, that's not going to help you.
No. And the antidote for this is renunciation, really.
That's what renunciation is
Yeah.
that and it can be experienced as being a little negative at the beginning, that like if you really see how the futility of, I'm coming to this time. I've been here at Dhammadarani for 16 years and 15 years, and I was participated in building a lot of cabins and building, getting here behind me this altar. So underneath the altar is a table. Well, here I built the table from a piece of redwood. I learned how to do it, and I taught myself furniture making to make that altar. So that's all materialistic things, and then when you realize it's all completely irrelevant,
Mm.
and then in a way you can say, why did so much energy, went into all of that, and so many things that the human beings do, and you can say, but in the end, it's not really a positive or a negative. It's just stepping back to say, the only thing that was important was whatever we did, was our intention virtuous? Was it something that was safe, that was producing a good karma, that's not going to take me to a bad realm? And then am I also able to let go and to walk away from all of that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Aya. That will help me. I think recognizing what the hindrance is, I think, will help me to
Yeah.
step away from it. And Aya, many blessings to you for your future life, and may all go well with you. May you be well, and may you find great happiness in your next stage of your life. And thank you for all your wonderful teachings.
Okay. I'll call on Maggie.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
When I notice every little thing like that, every little thing coming up, it seems, for me, it seems like a witness consciousness, just a witness awareness, but it doesn't seem relaxing. It seems like every little thing, it doesn't seem relaxed, and it doesn't seem to me to get me to one pointed concentration, which is far more relaxing for me.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does make sense. And so, when the Buddha was, or when the Bodhisattva was investigating about dependent arising, he was really investigating the first noble truth of dukkha. And that's only part of the practice. Uh, developing the ability to stay awake and pay attention can sometimes have that like unpleasant quality of like too much diversity, too much activity. It's not really restful. And then if your mind is clear, not distracted, you can let go of that and just stay with the breath. But if the mind is kind of dull and drowsy, it may be that more active type of contemplation helps you to stay awake. But if you're already got that right quality of a balance of alertness and stillness, this what we aim for in meditation, then the meditation procedures, you don't need them anymore. And then you can just let the mind to be quiet. So, but especially if there are still defilements or hindrances or unwholesome reactions that ever come up for you, having cultivated this skill of watching the causation in the mind of something negative or painful, how it comes up and how it can take hold and proliferate like that, and also how it can be set down and be and come away from that is very beneficial, because then you don't have to be afraid of anything that arises anymore, because you can see it. That's why the arahants in the old days, Mara used to come and try to tempt him and say, why do you're still young and beautiful. Why do you want to be an arhat or practicing for meditation? Why don't you give this up and just go and do merits and have a pleasant, enjoyable life? And the answer that the bhikkhu or the bhikkhuni gives, they say, I see you, Mara. And so that's how it is. Once you have got the skill of being able to see in detail the arising and changing of the phenomenon that's happening in the mind, then you can see anything, any evil, unwholesome state. That's Mara. You can see it when it arises, and the faster you can see it, the faster it will slink away. Yeah. Good. Thank you for that good question. It's a good balancing point to the theme that I was emphasizing today, because certainly stillness is part of the practice. Now I shall call on Patipada.
Hello, Ayya. I'm so sorry I can't be there today, but my question is, I know Dhamma Dharini will continue the online teaching, but my question is, will you be offering teachings online on Sundays at your new location?
Yes. I don't know about Sunday. I'm not sure exactly how I shall fit into the schedule among all the other teachers that are teaching there.
Okay.
The Empty Cloud Monastery has, where I'm going to be landing there on July 1. They have programs on Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So somehow or another, I'll be there somehow. And I have created a tiny page with the address tinyurl.com/Sobhana, which is where I'm going to put an announcement when I find out if and when I shall be giving any more teachings, or where I end up being in the world.
So it's a Facebook page?
No, I don't do Facebook.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Or you could find me on Blue Sky.
Blue Sky. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay. I think we've come up to 9:59, which is the end of this portion of the program. So I'm going to give the blessing and let all of you in the Zoom program to go. And those who are in the room can stay for a couple more minutes with me. Araham Samma Sambuddha Bhagava Buddhang Bhagavantang Abhivademi Svakato Bhagavata Dhammo Dhamman Namasami Subharipanno Bhagavato Savakasamyo Sanghang Namami.
Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.
Thank you, Ayya.
Sadhu, sadhu.
Okay.
Thank you, Ayya.
Okay, bless
Thank you,
you all.
Ayya.
Thank you, Ayya.